Hello viewers, welcome to our program on Immigration and You. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman. Mr.
Namaste,
Nachman, welcome.
Michael.
Namaste, namaste. This program once again we want to talk about the dreamers. And we are talking about young people, mostly students, who entered the United States when they were under 16 years of old, went to the high school, have been here for more than 5 years, and they are not over 30 years of age, have not committed crime. And we already made that information available to you that on June 15th, 2012, this regulation was announced, not a regulation, actually policy was announced by Obama administration. And why this happened, how this happened, and then I give to David. Why this happened basically is that we have been trying to get the DREAM Act passed, which bill had all these provisions, plus also a path to getting a green card and citizenship and all that. Unfortunately, the Congress has not passed that. We have been trying our best. So therefore, I think Obama administration was frustrated. What to do then? I mean, it is definitely certain more or less, it's not going to happen now in this session of the Congress. Probably, hopefully, again it's hopefully, it may happen in the next session of the Congress. But in the meantime, this is a situation where little children come 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, they are living no fault of their own, and their parents brought them, and now they are grown up, they have gone to high school, they cannot go to college, they don't have a driver license, they don't have a social security number. Real suffering. It is something where administration thought there is already something in the law, which is granting a deferred action or a deferred status to people who deserve it. So I would say very intelligently, they announced this policy, okay, we believe that all these students do fall in that category. So we can give them this benefit of staying in the country legally for 2 years and also working for 2 years. But nothing about going forward. They cannot. That can only be changed by the Congress. With that background, we have this very good news. I'm going to give to David. He can talk a little more about, again, not only for who qualifies, we said that, but then what are we looking at the documents? How the process is going to start? This is effective June 15, 2012.
Well, the provision announcement was June 15th of 2012, and it's our understanding that some announcement, as of the taping of this show, which is probably not at the same time, obviously, that it's being shown, there is new information that is starting to come out from the federal government. But what we want to let our loyal viewers know is that we have access, actually it's a document that we've created in our office, which is a checklist of information that we are more than happy to provide you. If you send us an email, we can send out to you a checklist of information which you, as a potential dreamer or DREAM Act beneficiary, can fill out and keep as a checklist of all the documentation that you may need to get together in order to do the application. Now, remember again that the application process does not come online until August 15th. In fact, we attended a meeting yesterday with the Newark District Office where the district director and several others announced that they have word from on high, that is the immigration authorities in Washington, D.C., who specifically stated that any applications submitted prior to August 15th will absolutely be rejected and sent back. So that also led to another part of the discussion, and that is be absolutely certain that the individual who you're seeking counsel from with regard to a DREAMer provision application is qualified to handle it. There are a lot of notarios, individuals who are not licensed to practice law, who are selling this benefit. There is no benefit to sell, not until August 15th. So be sure that you are seeking out the proper counsel. And I'm sure on prior programs, Michael and I have encouraged you to be certain to seek out individuals who are up to speed with the provisions, up to speed with all the appropriate regulations, to make sure that you're properly represented.
And in the meantime, keep on sending emails to us, and as and when we get more information, we'll keep on advising you, keeping you advised. and I'm sure in the next few days, we may have everything almost within the next 2-3 weeks that will enable us to probably start even filing the applications.
It's a great point you make, Michael, and also what I would encourage you to do is go online, go to our website at www.visaserve.com, visaserve.com. There is a Dreamer page on our website, which we're refreshing on a regular basis to try to give our viewers the most up-to-date information that we can about these new provisions.
Also, this is one other question coming from on a subject of what after this, because it's obviously this one is only a regular policy decision, and you are going to get this status for 2 years, which is renewable for further period.
As long as they decide to renew it, they have the right not to renew it. Yeah.
So question here is, what then? Some people are worried. After that, what? After 2 years, can they deport us? I doubt very much. I think there's a very good chance of, in 2013, hopefully, the DREAM Act get passed by the Congress. Now, let me tell you something more on this. Very recently, we saw a large number of congressmen, about I think 70, 80 congressmen, who prepared a detailed memorandum to President Obama, thanking him very much for this policy decision and assuring him that we promise you we will do our best, we will give you all the support to get the DREAM Act passed in the Congress. So of course, something depends on the elections too. But hopefully, if President Obama becomes the president and we have a sufficient number of Democrats as well as Republicans who are supportive of the DREAM Act, then we can get the bill passed in 2013. That will take you further from the DREAM status to getting a green card and becoming a citizen. So this is this is what we are thinking, this is what we are hoping. And this is only reasonable. I tell you, David, you know also that even some of the Republicans may not be on the comprehensive immigration reform. But on the DREAM Act, I think, even officially, one of the senators or congressmen, Republican, has introduced a bill also in supporting the DREAM Act. They know it.
Well, that was the person who was slotted for the vice president's position down in Florida. Yeah.
But I say we know that in their own mind, a lot of Republicans also on the DREAM Act, they are supportive. But it's election time, and they have to go with the party policies and all that. So.
And Michael, you also make a really good point, and that is something that our viewers need to know: is that yes, it's an application you make, and potentially you're going to have 2 years. And of course, the Citizenship and Immigration Service will have the right to take it away after 2 years. But what does it really give you from a practical standpoint? Well, what it does is it affords your children, possibly, the opportunity to have work authorization and a form of status that could allow them to get on track to do something else. So for example, ordinarily when a person comes into my office and they say, should I start a labor certification, or should I do this application, or should I do that application, I'll ordinarily say, we really have to think about that, because if we do that, we potentially jeopardize your status in the United States. However, if I have an individual who's a dreamer, and then they go to work for an employer, and that employer is willing to start the labor certification process for them, even though the labor certification process is going to take a while, they'll have an underlying form of status so that they won't end up in a deportation or removal proceeding. And that's the benefit of having this program.
भाई लोग, भाई और बहनों, ये सपना आपका जो है वो सही हो गया है. This is sapna, dream is a sapna in Hindi we say. Telling them this dream that you had has become true now. It has, happened actually. It's no longer a dream, they say dreamers, but the dreamer have been accomplished. Now they will be able to at least get what they dreamed and hoped for all these years.
Exactly.
Okay, one other thing I want to talk about is that don't go to sleep. Basically, David is going to tell you very briefly about the document list, or we can just announce this, send us an email, and we can send them
send
a list
us an
of
email.
documents so that we start collecting right away, even before you apply. We need, because when you want to come to apply, we'll still ask you to bring the documents.
And it's free of charge. There's no charge at all to send us an email, and what we'll do is we'll send you a copy of the checklist, and you're going to use that checklist no matter what, anywhere you go. You don't, even if you're not coming to Nachman, Pulwani, and Zimochek Law Office, any other lawyer that you go to see who's going to help you become the beneficiary of the DREAM Act provisions, they're going to need this checklist. You're going to need this checklist. So feel free to send us an email. We'll be more than happy to provide it.
And please don't apply if you think you are not eligible. Because some people,
Yes,
I've seen emails
that's
coming
correct.
are clearly not eligible. Don't jump in, maybe it will happen. It won't happen. Then there's a possibility of you're getting into deportation. So don't apply if you think you are not eligible.
And if we have a minute, maybe let's go over the eligibility requirements. So number one, the individual has to be under the age of 16 as of June 15th when the announcement was made, like you pointed out, Michael. They have to have continuously resided within the United States for 5 years. They need to have been physically present in the United States on June 15th. They must have been in school, currently in school, or discharged honorably from the military. They cannot be convicted of a crime, and that's still a gray area, is what type of crimes are going to affect you. So if you have a criminal record in any way, shape, or form, what you should do is get disposition letters and get the information and provide it to your legal counsel so that they can do the analysis properly.
One other thing is that this policy went into effect on June 15th. Now those who are eligible haven't applied yet because they are waiting the forms and the documents. But there are certain class of people who have already got it. For example, people that were in removal proceedings, in deportation proceedings, and in the meantime, this policy became effective June 15th. They already started applying because they were told that you can go ahead and contact ICE, and the ICE will then make a decision and grant you the status. And we got at least 2 or 3 letters from some other sources where they made the application and they were granted deferred status for 2 years. So this has already happened. This is happening. Those people that are in deportation proceedings, there's either no final order of deportation, or if there's a voluntary departure, their deportation is giving with a voluntary departure, and that voluntary departure date has not expired, you through a good attorney can contact ICE, and the ICE can then recommend or get you terminate or stop the deportation proceeding and get you the status. So those kind of people are very, very important that they can get this assistance now without waiting any further period of time. And I think we did talk about a program in the earlier also about AR11. Remember, if you have moved from one address to another, very important, because if they find that, then can deny you the Dreamer application also. You must file a form AR11, that is a change of address, as soon as you move from one address to another address. And let us say the immigration service already has a record from your previous filing or whatever, they know your address, and now you are applying with a different address. The first question will come in, have you filed AR11? And that become a problem. So that is the other message also David wants to give.
Right, and as I pointed out in one of our previous shows, also there are 2 things to do to make sure that your address is properly changed in the database. 1, make sure that you do the AR11, and 2, make sure that you call the 1-800 number and report it to an officer at USCIS.
And last word is, you are a citizen already, please make sure you vote. Your vote is very, very important. There are millions of people that don't vote, and that makes the balance between getting a party elected or not. And if you are not a citizen, you are eligible for citizen, apply immediately. Because right now the immigration service is moving very fast. You can probably get your citizenship in 3 to 4 months and still be eligible to vote. With that, David, I thank you very much, and thank you all the viewers.
Michael.
Any questions, comments, or suggestions, please contact us, and we'll be more than happy to respond to you.
And feel free to email us.
Yes. And thank you very much, and goodbye.